it's now permanently a decline bench. I'm obviously going to return this thing. It's absolute garbage in my opinion. Hey, what's going on YouTube? I've got a fun one today. I've been hearing a lot about these Flybird benches on Amazon, and especially over Christmas. And I thought, I don't do any real low budget testing or reviews on this channel, and why not? Let's see what this thing's all about. So first of all, it's still brand new. It's in the box. I haven't taken it out of the box yet. We're gonna do unboxing next. And I'm sitting on one of my budget rep benches right now, adjustable bench. And I'm gonna do a brief comparison, but in terms of comparing an Amazon budget bench to a rep bench, I think it's gonna be a little bit unfair, obviously. But this thing here retails around $239, and it's one of the newer Flybird models, adjustable benches. And let's take it out of the box and see what it's all about. So that was probably the easiest bench unboxing I've ever done, to be honest. Yeah, it pretty much shows up assembled. You can see everything's right here, and it uses these push-pull pins here to adjust your elevations. So right here obviously is the Flybird bench. Yes, it's pretty lightweight. There's lots of play everywhere. Again, $239 retail on the rep. AB 3000 is $319. However, we've seen it around $279. So the difference in price between these two, and of course the Amazon one does go on sale as well. But retail to retail, $239 versus $80 more for the rep bench. And for $80 more, you're going to get, these are very smooth, cheap nylon pads. The rep's got their proprietary padding that's very grippy, very durable. This padding is clearly a lot thinner. And then of course the bench itself weighs 37 pounds versus I think the rep bench is somewhere over 100 pounds, 120, something like that. I can't remember. I'll look it up though for you. The footprint overall is, the Flybird is obviously a little bit smaller footprint. What it did impress me about the Flybird bench, I have to say, is unboxing. It was really simple. Everything was assembled. It does come with the rollers for the decline. I just don't use decline. I'm not even going to bother messing with them. They're really small and cheap. I don't think anyone would ever use them, to be honest. I think the biggest drawback is the amount of play in this bench and just the how unstable it is. But Flybird claims that this bench will handle 800 pounds. So I'd like to test that out and see if it can. Typically, I've seen other reviewers test benches and test the weight on them, and what they do is they just stack a bunch of plates over the whole entire bench, and I just don't think that really gives you a realistic test of the weight capacity. Let's face it, the reason you've got a bench generally is going to be for bench press. And sorry about the rain noise. It is pouring rain in here and it echoes off the roof. If you can hear that, I'm not sure. But if you're bench pressing with this thing, most of your weight's going to be in here. As we all know, you want to brace your shoulders and then press right here. So I would say 95% of the weight is transferring through this spot in the bench. So today I'm going to test this bench. We'll start the weight at around 540. So that's someone who's benching around 300, 315, max. And we'll see what happens. And we'll work our way up all the way to 800 pounds and see what the bench can do. Like I said, I've never tested this bench before. I just unboxed it. This could be a testament to Flybird and how well they make their benches, but who knows? I want to see for sure. These claims are pretty crazy to me, so let's see what happens. I'll set it up. Okay, so we got 505 on there, and that's my Rogue squat bar. So 505, is roughly somewhere, benching in around 300s. Let's see what happens. Let's put some weight on it, and here we go. And I'm using my Stratus 14K lift for this. And, oh, hang on. I'm gonna pull the safeties out. Now, I gotta stop right there, and let's get this centered up a little bit better, right there. Okay, here we go. Oh, right there. Okay, so we're looking at 505 on the bench. Remember, this bench is rated for, okay, so we're sitting on 595. Let's see if it can handle it. All right, there it is, 595, and it's flexing pretty good. We're at 685. Let's see how this goes. Now I'm dropping this down on there as soft as I can. And realistically, you might be more, a little more violent with it when doing it, but just for the sake of this test, I'm not trying to destroy the bench. I'm just trying to see what it can handle. So that's 685 right there, and it's holding it good. So let's have a look. It's a little bit off balance, but now there's a lot of flex in that bench right there. That's interesting. I'll pull this back a little bit just in case. So we're sitting at 685, and this thing she's bouncing pretty good. And hang on, so we're only at 685. Remember, it's supposed to hold 800 pounds. Let's come down a little bit. And realistically, when you're training, there's going to be some movement here, but you can see this thing is starting to fail already, and just like that, it's starting to fail. Whoa. So let's lift her up real quick. All right, so 685, this bench has completely failed, and it's permanently bent now, and I mean, that wasn't even close to the 800-pound capacity. So what do you guys think? Should we go to 800 and see what happens? I think we should. We're ready to come this far. Let's do 800. All right, so before we drop 800 pounds on this bench that's clearly already starting to fail or has failed, in my opinion, the bench is faulty. 685 pounds, bent the backing quite easily. I mean, straight brand new out of the box. Now, can you imagine you're using this bench a lot, it's gonna bend and do exactly what it's doing there. So let's talk about safety ratings, let's talk about weight ratings. Flybird says this bench is good to 800 pounds. Now, industry standard means that 800 pounds is not where it fails. It should have a safety rating of at least 1.5. The problem with the cheap companies that you'll find on Amazon and everything else, and a lot of influencers will like to push these products because they get them for free, is they're not exactly telling you the truth when they tell you what they're really rated for. Now, this is a major safety issue. Now, this bench here might have failed at 685, maybe another one fails at 500 pounds. Now, 500 pounds minus, say, someone who's 250 pounds or 225, somewhere in there, you're talking about a 300-pound bench, which a lot of people do, and they bench a lot more than that. You're talking about a major injury to yourself. When that backing plate comes down, I don't know what would happen, and it's just a real safety thing. So when you're buying equipment, remember, you know, cheaper is not always better. There is a threshold, and to 800 pounds, and let's see what happens. It's amazing how, oh yeah, that thing's rolling off because obviously we don't have oh man, there's no way to keep the bar from rolling off, but I would say it's safe to say that Flybird bench don't hold 800 pounds, and yeah, that's not supposed to be declined, that's supposed to be flat. So there's a Flybird bench with 800 pounds on it. I mean, not even, it's still the rack's still holding a lot of the weight, but you know, you can clearly see that is not going to hold. All right, so here's the Flybird review video, and I'll just conclude it with this, but it's now permanently a decline bench. I'm obviously going to return this thing. It's absolute garbage in my opinion. You know, $239, like I said, for $80 more, you can buy the rep bench, or you could get into a Rogue bench. I mean, it really doesn't bother me which brand you choose or whatever, but just buy something that's quality. I feel like this bench would fail with a lot less weight than 685 over repeated use. And it was clear that just from sort of moving it a little bit, it started to bend instantly. Those back rails right there are so thin and small, and they're really, really, to me, just way undersized for what this bench should have, especially with an 800-pound capacity. Now, if Flybird changed the capacity to, say, 500 pounds or 400 pounds, that would be reasonable. I mean, I think that's what this bench really should be rated at. So, I mean, I guess the big question is that you guys are probably wondering, you're on YouTube, you guys obviously know, you're watching a lot of gym review equipment. Why are influencers pushing Flybird? Why are they trying to sell these benches, or why review them at all if we know that they're garbage? Well, it comes down to money, and a lot of Amazon companies like Flybird will send free products out to reviewers to review. I don't do any free product reviews. I'm very selective on what I bring into the gym. That's not to say that I've made a few mistakes and reviewed a few things that may or not be good, but I turn down these type of reviews on the daily, and for the reason, to me, it's just about integrity. You know, on YouTube, you don't sign a contract to say that you have to tell the truth. It's all about making money on YouTube, and that means selling your channel or selling product through affiliate sales. And, you know, I'm just not comfortable doing that and trying to bring products in for free or brands that I just don't feel comfortable with. So that's why people do it. I don't blame influencers for pushing cheap brands. And, you know, for some people, they get excited, and when you start off as a YouTuber or an affiliate or anything like that, it's exciting, and you try to get your hands on as much stuff as possible. I know I went through that a couple of years ago, and I quickly realized that it's not all good, and you're giving up a little bit of your integrity and maybe not being perfectly honest when you're saying a Flybird bench is decent. These benches, you know, like I said, should be rated for about 400 pounds. And the problem is, once people are making money or getting free products, it's very hard to be perfectly honest in the review.